I raised the safety concern on a Tuesday. By Friday, they had started building the case to get rid of me. I am a nurse. Was for a while, now I am again. But there was a period in between that I would not wish on anyone. I had been working on a medical ward for 3 years when I submitted a formal concern to my ward manager about staffing ratios. The concern was specific. On 4 consecutive night shifts, our ward of 28 patients had been staffed by 2 qualified nurses instead of the minimum 4. I had documented each shift. I had the dates, the patient numbers, the incident log references. I submitted the concern in writing on the 14th of February 2023. My ward manager was a woman called Sandra. Sandra had been in post for 6 years and ran the ward with the particular efficiency of someone who had learned to manage upward very well. She was professional in meetings, she was warm in corridors, and she had, I came to understand, a very clear sense of what constituted a threat to her position. My concern constituted a threat. The first formal record of a performance issue appears in my file dated the 17th of February, 3 days after I submitted the concern. A note from Sandra recording that a colleague had raised concerns about my attitude during handovers. No specific incident, no date, no named colleague, just a note filed in my record 3 days after I reported a safety breach. I did not know the note existed until 6 months later. Let me stop here, because this is the moment, roughly 2 minutes in, where I need to ask you to hold 2 things in your head at once. The first is that I am telling you this story, and I am telling it as clearly as I can. The second is that when I was living it, I could not see its shape at all. I was inside it. I was receiving feedback that I thought was about my performance. I was trying to improve, I was working harder, being more careful, double-checking everything, and all the time a file was being built around me that had nothing to do with my performance and everything to do with a concern I had raised about patient safety. By May 2023, I had a formal written warning for what was described as a pattern of unprofessional conduct. By June, I was on a performance improvement plan. By August, I was signed off sick with anxiety. By September, I had resigned because staying felt impossible, and my GP told me that continuing was affecting my physical health. I had been a nurse for 6 years with no previous disciplinary record. In 8 months, I had been turned into someone with a file full of concerns, a formal warning, and a resignation letter. I instructed a solicitor named Priya in October 2023. She asked me one question in our first meeting that changed the shape of everything. She asked whether I had ever requested my full HR file under a subject access request. I had not. She filed one the same afternoon. The file arrived in November. It ran to 112 pages. On page 43, there was a set of meeting minutes. The minutes were from a management meeting dated the 16th of February 2023. 1 day before the first performance note appeared in my file. The minutes recorded a discussion between Sandra and 2 senior managers about a staffing concern that had been raised by a junior nurse. They did not name me, but the discussion included the following line, recorded verbatim. We need to manage this carefully to avoid escalation. Consider whether a conduct process might be appropriate. Consider whether a conduct process might be appropriate. 1 day before the first performance note, 2 days after I raised the concern, the management team had discussed initiating a conduct process against me before a single performance concern had been formally identified. The conduct process was not a response to my behaviour. It was a preemptive measure designed to discredit the person who had made the safety report. I want to give Sandra something here because I have sat with this for over a year and I think honesty requires it. Sandra was not running a ward that was deliberately unsafe. She was running a ward that was chronically understaffed because the trust had made decisions she had no power to reverse, and she was managing the gap between what the ward needed and what it had with the limited tools available to her. My report threatened to expose that gap publicly. She responded by trying to remove the person making the report. That is not right. But it is recognisable. It is the logic of institutional self-preservation, and it operates in organisations every day. Priya filed the Employment Tribunal claim in December 2023. Automatic unfair dismissal under the Public Interest Disclosure Act, whistleblower protection, and constructive unfair dismissal. The Trust's legal team made a settlement offer in February 2024, £42,000. Priya and I discussed it for 20 minutes and declined. They came back in April with £61,000. We declined again. The hearing was listed for June. In May, the Trust's legal team contacted Priya to say they were withdrawing their defence and accepting the claim in full costs. A formal written acknowledgement that my dismissal had been connected to my protected disclosure. Reinstatement offered, which I declined. I was working somewhere else by then, somewhere with better ratios and a manager who read safety reports and acted on them. Full justice served. I am back on a ward now. Different hospital, different city. On my first week, I noticed the staffing numbers were short on a Tuesday night shift. I documented it. I submitted a concern in writing on the Wednesday morning. I have kept a copy. Old habits, the good kind now. The ward I left is still running. Sandra is still in post. The staffing ratios have not, as far as I know, changed. The patients on that ward are being cared for by people who are doing their best with what they have been given, which is not enough. I do not know what to do with that. I won my case and I still do not know what to do with that. What would you have done differently if you were me, knowing what the minutes said?